Hello everybody, this is Andrew again from Lost World Adventures here in Decatur, Georgia, and today we're going to be talking about Patagonia. A little bit about what Patagonia is, where it's located, and some of the reasons that people have for going to Patagonia. Patagonia is a region in southern South America. It's not actually a country at all. It spreads between Argentina and Chile. It goes from the Atlantic coast of Argentina all the way across to the Pacific coast in Chile. Most of Patagonia is actually in Argentina, but areas of interest exist on both sides of the border. On the Argentine side, Patagonia is actually more of a somewhat of a desert. It actually progresses from the Atlantic coast all the way up to the Andes, and then the Andes more or less form the backbone between Chile and Argentina, and then it drops fairly precipitously down into Chile. Somewhat desert-like on the Argentine side, a little bit more lush on the Chilean side. Patagonia has, for a lot of people, been somewhat of a mystery. It's attracted a lot of adventurers over the years, dating back to the original explorers from Europe who came, such as Magellan and Vespucci, also Charles Darwin, and at the beginning of the last century, a lot of the Antarctic expeditions also launched from southern South America and Patagonia, and most notably the Shackleton expedition that left from Ushuaia and came back to Punta Arenas. Today, modern explorers come to Patagonia for many of the same reasons as those original adventurers came to Patagonia hundreds of years ago. In the past 150 years, Patagonia has been populated by migrants from Europe and also from other parts of South America who've been attracted by the large open spaces and the opportunities for agriculture. And so the gaucho culture is very alive in Patagonia, and they have enormous ranches where they are raising predominantly sheep in some of those southern regions. To all intents and purposes, when travelers visit Patagonia, there are five major regions where they will actually visit. Three of those regions are in Argentina and two of them are in Chile. The first region that I'm going to discuss is the Peninsula Valdez. This is on the Atlantic coast. It's somewhat surprising because it's quite a flat, dry, and pretty warm area of Patagonia, and the reasons that people visit this area are predominantly to see the wildlife. From June until early December, southern right whales call the waters off the coast their home. There are also sea elephants, sea lions, an abundance of marine birds, and a little bit further south there's also an enormous penguin colony at Punta Tombo. Further south into Patagonia is more what people think of as a classic Patagonian scene. We're going to have much more in the way of mountains, more in the way of vegetation, snow, and ice. In fact, the world's largest ice field outside of Antarctica is actually in Patagonia at the southern ice field. So moving south, we would go to a town called Ushuaia. Ushuaia is actually one of the southernmost town in the world. It is in Tierra del Fuego, which is an island, which also has parts of the island in Argentina and parts of the island in Chile. Mostly the people visit the Argentine side and go to Ushuaia. Ushuaia is a port town. It's the stopping off point for various cruises to Antarctica, and also a cruise that goes through the Magellan Straits between Ushuaia and Punta Arenas, so a 3 or 4 night cruise from there. Ushuaia's got a little bit of culture. Some of the original settlers to the area came to Ushuaia to set up farms and ranches, and some of those ranches actually look a lot like the farms that exist in my native England. In the northern part of England, there were some farms that look very similar to the sheep farms in Ushuaia. When people are in Ushuaia, they enjoy typically hiking, sea kayaking in the Straits of Magellan. There is a great, somewhat small penguin colony to the east of town, and there's obviously a couple of ranches that people can visit as well. After Ushuaia, people then move up to the Los Glaciares National Park, The Los Glaciares National Park is actually named after the main glacier there, which is called Perito Moreno. It's the world's largest advancing glacier. The wall of the glacier, the face of the glacier, is about 7 miles wide. It's continuously carving and breaking off ice, and it's really a major attraction for coming to the Los Glaciares Park. It's also very popular, so while a lot of the reasons for going to Patagonia are to get away from crowds and to be in a less populated area, it must be said that the Perito Moreno Glacier is a popular spot, and you will be sharing it with several thousand of your closest friends when you go to visit it. Aside from seeing the Los Glaciares glacier, the Perito Moreno Glacier, you can actually also go on a boat to the face of the glacier, fairly close. And you can also put crampons on and hike onto the top of the glacier, and there are a couple of different excursions that they do with crampons on top of the glacier. A little bit further north from Perito Moreno is also a town called El Chalten, which is Argentina's trekking and hiking mecca. It's a small wind-blown town with a handful of hotels and access to some of the best hiking in Argentina. There are lots of one-day hikes, multiple day hikes. Some of the jewels there are to hike to the base of Fitzroy, the Fitzroy Massif, and also a couple of the nearby lagoons and lakes like the Laguna dos Tres. Close by also to El Chalten is the Vidiema Glacier, which is far less visited than the Perito Moreno Glacier. And so if you're looking for more of a pristine, perhaps an experience with fewer people around, then the Vidiema Glacier is harder to get to and well worth it. So these are the three main areas of Argentina's Patagonia that we focus on. Then a lot of people actually like to combine the Argentina side with the Chilean side, and so you can then go from Los Glaciares overland. It takes about 6 to 7 hours to go overland from the from the Argentine side to Torres del Paine. Torres del Paine is the jewel of Chile's national park system. It is a geological wonder. It has got some of the best hiking in Chile, lakes, rivers, some great glaciers. Really a remarkable place to go hiking. It's predominantly a hiking destination, although the scenery is absolutely breathtaking. And so people of all ages go to Torres del Paine. Some enjoy the active adventures, and some take boat trips and take a more scenic route. Torres del Paine is also where the two classic treks of Chile, or Patagonia, are located. The Around the Towers trek is about 9 or 10 days, and it goes all the way around the famous Torres del Paine. And then you have the W trek, which is about 4 days, which actually goes up 3 of the main valleys on the southern part of the towers. These are the two iconic treks in Patagonia. Close to Torres del Paine is a town called Puerto Natales. Puerto Natales is actually sitting in a fjord, and some people make this their base to explore Torres del Paine, because from Puerto Natales they can also take boat trips up to some other glaciers such as Balmaceda. So this is the southern part of Patagonia in Chile. There is another region a little bit further north called Aysén. This is a far less visited part of Patagonia. It's more difficult to get to. You actually have to take multiple flights to get to it. But this area is really untouched. And if you want to see Patagonia as it probably has been for hundreds of years, then this is the area you want to go to. Our focus in this area is around a place called the Lago General Carrera. And the Lago General Carrera is the second largest lake in South America. There are a couple of lodges that are based on the edge of the lake, and using those lodges, we like to get people out onto the lake for sea kayaking, for hiking, and also the famous marble caves. And the marble caves are exactly what the name implies. These are caves that are they are made from marble, and so when you sea kayak into these caves, you'll see all the stratas of the marble, just feet above your head. So it's a remarkable thing to experience in Patagonia. Just a couple more things to talk about in general about Patagonia. Obviously, a lot of people want to know what the weather's like in Patagonia and when to travel. And for us, the season really begins in sort of late October and then it goes all the way through to about March or April. Obviously, the seasons are reversed there. The predominant weather feature in Patagonia is wind. It's always windy in Patagonia with increasing winds in January and February. So to avoid wind or to have less wind, then you'd want to travel in October, November, December, and possibly March and April. Temperature-wise, the Argentine side tends to be a little bit warmer in the shadow of the Andes. But you might experience daytime highs in the 50s and 60s in the summertime, or even in the 70s and 80s, just depending on the day. On the Chilean side, it could be frosty in Torres del Paine in the mornings throughout the year. So definitely when you go to Patagonia, you want to be prepared for at least 3 seasons and prepared for the wind as well. And the final thing, really, that I wanted to touch on was the food. And Patagonia is an area that is known for barbecues, and so one of the main things that people enjoy when they go to Patagonia is these outdoor barbecues. And a lot of the ranches and estancias that you can go and stay at will have large barbecues at night. Carnivores needn't be put off. There are always vegetarian options, but lamb and beef cooked over barbecues in Patagonia is pretty much a staple on both the Chilean and the Argentine side. That about wraps up what I've got to say for you guys today on Patagonia. I don't know if we have any questions that I could answer. Looks like we don't have any questions. So again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye.